guys, how's it going? It is time to show the work from the Creative Art Challenge, which if you're not familiar, this is I would say a monthly challenge that I'm gonna try and do where I give you guys 4 words and people submit art, and the artwork for this drawing has been awesome. The 4 words were angry, flower, brain, and door. And this is my version. I did a little bit different than last time. Last time I spent a little bit more time on it. This one is more of a sketchbook drawing for the idea. And I just decided to, instead of show you guys how I drew it, how I did the speed drawing for the last one, I'm gonna show you in real time how I do my highlights with the white colored pencil. And this is the colored pencil I use. I have a bunch of them because I go through them pretty quickly. It's a Prisma color, and yeah, so all my highlights are done with this little thing right here, and it's on tan Strathmore paper. And I've showed you guys this a bunch of times, but I still get questions about it, so I'm going to start basically going through my process for highlighting. Highlighting adds so much to the drawing. You guys will see the immediate change that it has on this one. Most of the time I like to start out with the highlights in the eyes, and I think about where I'm going to highlight ahead of time, at least a little bit, especially on like highlights like this. But the pigment or the opacity of this white colored pencil on this tan paper, I mean, it looks really good. Right there I'm just using little circle strokes, and I do that to kind of blend out. It just gives me a little bit more of a smoother transition when I do that. So it's a kind of a circular motion. And as you can see, I have a real nice gradient right there. Kind of just blends into the rest of the eye. And so for the eyes and things that are natural or are white, which actually your eyes aren't, but I exaggerate my highlights just for effect. So you can see how the eyes really pop now, because what you're doing is you get the brown paper, the tan paper is your mid-tone, and you really, to have a successful drawing, you want a nice mid-tone, you want your highlights, and you want really dark areas. Now the darkest part of this drawing are probably the eyebrows and the eyelashes. That's kind of the focal point, is her eyes. You're gonna naturally look to her eyes anyway, but so I'm gonna have the most amount of highlight in that area, and I'm just gonna use that same circular motion technique when I'm blending out. It just feels like it gives it such a nice, like, smooth transition. Now I'm adding highlights to all the areas where I know light is gonna hit, and sometimes I might add highlights to areas where maybe it's kind of fake, but I do it just to form or add dimension to the drawing. And that's not always a good thing to do, but for me, it's a style I choose to do. It's not super realistic, but it works. And I go pretty fast when I'm doing the highlights. And like right here, I'm lightening it, but I'm not pressing nearly as hard as I did on the other areas. So I'm gonna highlight on the cheekbones through here. And one thing that's always a good idea too is, like, if I had highlighted before I added these little kind of texture things in here, I wouldn't get these smudge areas. So that's one thing. If you plan ahead, add your textures last, it works a lot better. So I'll highlight the petals on the flower. Hopefully this flushes these out better than, because I didn't really do a very good job on these, on the flower part of her. I did this drawing pretty quickly. Now for the brain, I'm going to do really hard things because I want it to kind of look a little bit wet and shiny. And I've not really done this before, but let's see if it works. have it. This is my creative art challenge drawing. Basically, it's this kind of plant lady thing, and she's really mad at this brain, and she's gonna take a big old bite out of it. And the brain has a back door. Maybe something's living in the brain, but they escape down this rope. So the word flower I combined with this person's face, this flower person. I feel like I made it her face. This doesn't really blend in that well, but like I said, this was a quicker drawing. It is pretty quick. The brain, obviously right there, and then angry, she's mad about something. I don't know, but all this is from my head. So how I went about drawing this, I just sat down on my lunch break and started sketching an idea. And before I start drawing, I go through ideas in my head. So I just visualize things as best I can. And I wouldn't consider this like a finished piece of artwork by any means. These are just sketches. They're in my sketchbook. And yeah, so that's it. Kind of a fun idea. That's what I really primarily am focused on with this art challenge thing, is coming up with cool ideas and seeing your guys' artwork and letting you guys show everybody your artwork. So now let's get to the submissions, which there are a lot of them and they're awesome. So enjoy, and thanks for watching, guys.